And we are live. Haiti Oropesa for Florida You Judge. Good evening. I am jumping on real quick for some minutes because I wanted to bring on Linda Perez Davila. She's on the screen with me, and she is going to be doing a relief trip out to Louisiana on Thursday. So we wanted to hop on real quickly to let the public know, particularly here locally, the Tampa Bay public, that she is going out. They already have a fleet of trucks that are going out there for relief efforts to Louisiana. I also have with me Eliseo Santana. He's in the middle of a campaign now. He's running to seek to be the next Pinellas County sheriff. And so we're going to go ahead and let's start with him. I'm going to go ahead and mute you momentarily, Linda, and I'll be right with you. Okay. Hi, Eliseo. How are you?
Good to see you. Buenas.
Always good to see you, Eliseo. And so we're going to take a couple of minutes for the public here locally, especially the voters in Pinellas County, to give you an opportunity, a couple of minutes before we get to Linda and see what she's doing with her relief efforts. Go ahead and talk to the public. You just ran up against another Democrat in a primary in August, and so you prevailed. Congratulations again. I was able to speak to you right after you were on the high of that great win, but now you're in the throes of an election, which there's like 64 days left before the election day. And so tell us a little bit about it, particularly informing the voters about, is there going to be an early voting like as there was prior to the primary before the general election?
Absolutely. My name is Eliseo Santana, and I, after 30 plus years of working with the sheriff department, modernizing it, working as an administrator, bringing forth that change, I see a need. And I've seen the organization from within, and it's so important that we have somebody that thinks and brings the community into the equation. It is, as sheriff, I will institute body cameras. There's going to be a diversity in our command staff. The people that run the day-by-day operations will look more like the community. I am going to stop the acting as an agent for ICE. That is not something that brings our community to a safer environment. It is essential. It is essential that each and every one of us that is capable of voting, register to vote, and come out and vote. Early voting is going to be happening 2 weeks, up to 2 weeks before the actual election on November the 3rd. But the vote by mail ballots are going out in about 30 days. So the election is on, and it's so important for, if you want to have an impact, if you want to have that change, you need to be able to vote, and to vote, you need to register. And you can go to the supervisor election and register online, or give them a call. But you still have time to register now.
Okay, great. So again, to repeat what Eliseo said, just so that everybody's informed and we can inform others when they're maybe not knowing what they need to do to be able to vote, they can still register. Do you know if there's any deadline for registration to vote? When that ends prior to November 3rd?
I'm not sure about if you haven't registered, I'm not sure what the deadline is, but I would do it immediately, and I will not wait until tomorrow. You can do it tonight online. It's so that you'll be able to get in.
So you can register online to vote?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, you can answer the questions that they ask, and that will happen.
You said something earlier when we were doing the Spanish transmission broadcast of Florida You Judge, the Spanish counterpart of Florida You Judge. You said that they can call that's also allowed to call and register by phone, or no?
Well,
did I hear you right?
When you call on the phone, they'll be able to guide you through the process.
Understood. So of doing it electronically online to register.
Exactly. There's also, if you go to any of the libraries, they will have an actual printout for you to be able to register. You can send it in the mail back to them. I recommend you do it electronically, though.
I do too. Yeah, that sounded a little bit too to navigate, a little bit too cumbersome. So, okay, there you have it, folks. Go register to vote. It's important. It's important. If you want to preserve the rights that you have and you want good government, good leaders, good people in positions, you need to exercise your right to vote. And look how easy it is. I didn't even know that you can register electronically. So there you have it. Today I'm gonna go ahead and just share this because I thought it was interesting. There was an article. I know what your position is on body cams, and I believe that that is a major game changer. Any agency that doesn't want to implement body cams on their officers, that to me is a minus. It's not a plus. So I'm with you on that. Um, you said I know that there's going to be probably a difference between you and Terry, the current sheriff, in terms of um, being a nice agent, as you call it.
Yes,
And then,
yes.
why don't you and um so you just said a story for the Spanish community when we transmitted a little while ago about driving while license is suspended or no license. It's very easy for officers to run a tag and to see if somebody's license is suspended or they don't have a license, or just profile. Sometimes they can see somebody that they look like a foreigner, Spanish, Hispanic, boom, pretextually stop, then to be able to inquire, okay, let me see your license. And you just said a very
Right.
unfortunate story of somebody from Guatemala
and
who's the
and
sole breadwinner for his family. Tell us the story.
and the problem is that it's not that they've checked on the vehicle and seen that the person has a suspended driver's license or has a warrant for their arrest. Actually, when you do that, you have a cause to be able to stop the vehicle and to be able to inquire. But when you're driving and you're following all of the rules of the road, but you happen to look like me, you happen to look Hispanic or have African American, and that in their eyes is enough to stop and to check to see if your documentation is in order. That's where we start going wrong. If somebody violates the law and brings it to their attention. Now, in this particular case, this individual has been here for over 20 years. He has a job. He's a wage earner, the only wage earner for the family. He's married and he has three children, all born here in Pinellas County. And one of the children is one of the classmates for my grandson. And he came home crying because he was telling me that his friend's father, was arrested for driving without a driver's license, was taken into the jail, fingerprinted, and was being held for deportation. Um,
Well,
and
but he might be released.
it could be, yes,
The
that
ICE may release him because I've seen those cases where ICE comes and they determine, you know what, we're not going to deal with this.
and that is something that we are hoping for. The issue is this:
That
when
you wouldn't have even allowed your deputies, or your policy that you would institute if you win is don't even arrest, give them a notice to appear.
even beyond that, racial profiling to stop somebody
Of
will not
course.
occur, and that was the basis of the whole premise there.
No, I understand, but if they
And yes,
stop,
yes,
okay,
I agree with you.
okay, I understand, but of course racial profiling is bad. It's bad. But if there is something that is justified for to make a proper legal stop, say speeding, running a red light, whatever, right? You do agree that that's a justifiable legal stop, yes?
Absolutely. And what happens normally is that they will get a ticket. They will get some kind of a to be able to go to court and
But
respond.
you just wouldn't want the policy of your department, even with the problems that such as what you just stated, somebody being arrested, put in the jail, that's a flag for ICE to come, a detainer to be placed for ICE to then be able to come in and review them to see what they're going to do, whether they're going to move to for deportation proceedings or to let them go. So, but if you were the sheriff, you're saying your policy would be that um, deputies, those who are working in your agency, that they issue a notice to appear.
That is correct. And that what we're talking about here is a minor infraction. If somebody is committing a felony, somebody is committing an act of violence and it's a threat to the community, that's a different story. But what we're talking about is a minor infraction that will lead to some major negative side effects in which this individual will lose his job, the family will lose their source of income and their apartment. They will become homeless. They will become destitute. Something as simple as a traffic ticket can lead to that. And that is
Okay,
something that, yes.
let me ask you this. Let's suppose that it's a justifiable stop and it's a traffic infraction whereby, or even criminal infraction, because listen, there are criminal infractions where, um let me set that up again. Hold on a second. We want to see your okay, okay, there we go. There we go. So let's say it's related to, we know that sometimes persons that have driving while licenses suspended or no valid, I know that sometimes officers use their discretion. They could be arrested because it's criminal in nature, but they don't. They give them a notice to appear. Okay, let's say that it's a traffic infraction that poses a risk of safety to the public, right? Like reckless driving or something that where the person's history is checked and there's some questions about the safety of the public. What do you do then?
The officer has the discretion at that point, as they all do. Where I get into the situation is that they should not discriminate against somebody because of the way that they look and where they come from. If there is a need to be able to remove that person for the safety of the community, that is a call of the officer that's there.
Okay, so you would scrutinize instances where everything being equal and looking at everything, the whole record of that person and what they were stopped for, if there's no public safety issues, it would be your policy, or you would encourage the discretion to be used for a notice to appear to be given.
Absolutely, and forget about the right now. We're talking about undocumented, but talk about you. There's a lot of people that are citizens that are driving vehicles without a driver's license and without the vehicle being registered properly. That's happening across the board, and that is the same way we treat them. Is the same way we're going to treat everybody.
Right.
So it's nothing of an extraordinary. This is the same thing we're going to be applying across the board to everyone.
Gotcha. Okay, so body cams, what the issue that we just discussed, I just wanted to, before going to turning it over to Linda so that she can tell us the great things that she's going to be doing going out there, and we're looking after others. It's not all about us. We're going to take care of others too, who are, especially when they're suffering and they've gone through a devastating hurricane. I want to show this article that came out today.
Yes, I read that article.
Okay, let's discuss that. Is that good or bad? I think it's good.
Well,
I like this change.
well, first of all, let's get to the point that the only reason why that change and other changes are happening is because people across the board, all different nationalities and culture, are saying enough is enough of the police abuse, and they're out in the streets protesting, and they're saying that that needs to change, and that pressure has led to a sheriff that would normally have not implemented or changed their policy to start moving in the right direction. But if you read that article further, it negates itself. It's sort of like I absolutely am going to eliminate the no knock, where somebody breaks into somebody's home in a warrant and without announcing, and even in civilian attire when they're doing it, so that the person inside there, the individual inside the apartment, like you and I, think about it. Somebody breaks through your door, comes into your home. My reaction is to defend myself and my family immediately. The reaction to that kind of thing is extremely negative, and it should not happen. And that is the type of enforcement that we're looking at, and the way that the shifting is happening now in Pinellas because of people demanding that change, is that he says he's going to have a supervisor uh, approve that before it happens, unless unless they, and then it has all these different clauses that allows the officer to not follow the procedure. And really, if you look down to it, It's just a paper, something on paper.
Okay, so let me ask you this: the fact that there's movement, though the needle is moving, whether in your estimation it's slow, it is moving in the right direction. Would you agree with that?
Thank you for everybody that has stood up and said enough is enough and have gone out to the streets to be able to show and demonstrate that we will not allow this type of strong arm situation has been occurring in the past, not just in Pinellas but across the nation, and that has forced our local authorities to move in that direction.
Okay, but let's contrast that and real quickly, because I do want to ask you about this. Yesterday, the Tampa Times published a story. I don't know whether you were able to read it. I was featured in the story as the lawyer of one of the protesters in Tampa. Okay, not everybody. You might have differences with the local sheriff, and again, I'm going to reiterate that the needle is moving in the right direction. Is even though whether your perception is, your opinion is that it's happening as a result of the people crying out and saying or protesting, demanding, asking, requesting that this policy be instituted. He's listening. He's listening. And right now I don't know if anybody's going to be offended, and that's, if you are, my apologies, but I'm very upset is to put it lightly. I don't even know that there is a word. I'm still trying to look for one, for the mayor of Tampa, Mayor Castro, who used to be a chief of police in that city and who oversees the police department. I asked her to be able to surrender someone peacefully, not even knowing whether that they were wanted. We suspected that they were wanted, and they ignored my communications to try to coordinate that. Okay, what are your thoughts about a law enforcement agency or somebody, the leader that is directing, managing the city, directing the city to ignore a request that somebody be surrendered peacefully?
I don't know anything in detail about that, so my comments are not related to that, but to say that when it comes to the sheriff's office, if you want change, you got to change the sheriff, and you got to put somebody in there that you don't have to convince that this is the right thing to do. They know it, and they're going to act upon these things. And that's exactly what we have here. We have an individual right now that is in that position that's going to continue the process of militarization and escalation of force in our community. That's how they address that type of situation. Or you're going to have somebody that is able to be part of the community and bring the community in to be able to direct it and keep our community safer, truly safer, not just imposing an occupational force on the community.
Okay, so you're a Democrat. Jane Casher's a Democrat. Okay, and now that you're talking about demilitarization, I agree with that. Demilitarizing the law enforcement agencies that are there to keep the peace, right? Protect the public,
They're
keep
peace
safety.
officers.
They're peace officers. So let me put it. You're unacquainted. You're with the what I want to have you answer to the question that I'm going to pose. You're the sheriff. You're the head of a law enforcement agency, and your members are trying to seek to arrest someone. Okay. And a defense attorney contacts you or one of your members and says, "Can I coordinate to surrender this person peacefully?" And your members ignore that. Is that okay? What would you prefer? A peaceful surrender or going into someone's apartment with a tactical unit to try to arrest someone? What do you prefer, sir?
I think that everyone listening to this conversation would have to say that a peaceful resolution is the optimum and it's the way to pursue that.
So the peaceful surrender. You would want your agency to absolutely welcome the offer by a defense attorney to surrender someone peacefully versus
As I,
having.
as I stated before, I don't know the details about this situation, and every situation is a different dynamics. But yes, I would definitely opt for a peaceful resolution to any situation rather than escalating it to a point in which we can lose control.
Great. Okay, and so I already have your website memorized. How's that? I
Ah,
have your
fantastico.
I have your website, Santana
And anybody
for.
else that is listening to this, I need your support. Go to the website and definitely uh, put some donations behind that because it's not just voting, but it's also supporting.
That's right. Santana4sheriff.com. Eliseo has great ideas, some of which I agree with. I do. He has the right ideas. Go ahead and check out his website, Santana4sheriff.com, so that you can learn more about him. Is there any contact information on there as far as the voters being able to contact you directly? Is there a phone number?
There is there. If you go to www.santanaforsheriff.com, you're gonna be able to get all the information on how to be able to get a hold of me by email, by phone, and get a lot of information about what I stand for.
That's great. So you can stay with us, me and Linda. And Linda, thank you so much because she is not messing around. Linda is not, she is focused and paying attention. She went ahead and let me know when I asked you about the deadline to register to vote. It's October 5th, 2020. So October 5th is the last day to be able to register to vote. So you have a good amount of time. Today's September 1st, so you have over a little over 30 days, a month, to be able to do that. And you've indicated that people can register electronically.
Yes,
And so please, people, go out and do your thing. You need to vote. You need to be respected and counted. If you can't complain later when you're stopped and you'd rather get a notice to appear rather than go to jail, have to bond out, have to go to court. Well, you're going to have to go to court with a notice of appearance, but I mean, it's so much worse having to bond out or go to jail. I mean, it's not the preferable method of dealing with a situation where your license was suspended because of a ticket or some other thing that has no relation to public safety. You're not really a danger. It's just the status of your license. He has good ideas. Don't complain later if you
and
don't
body
vote.
cameras. We absolutely need body cameras for transparency and accountability. It keeps the officers being professional. It also protects the officer because we'll
It
be able to
does.
see if he's acting the right way. So it works both ways. It's something that the community demands. It's something that I will institute
You,
immediately.
you know what? And that's true. It's about time that there are things that I have agreed with Sheriff Golteri. I think that he goes after members that do bad. So I agree with him, and so um there are things that I don't agree with him on. This one, it's about time that body cams are instituted. So because of that, that's one of the big things, the issues that you're putting forth, that the community, the voters should pay very close attention to, because you know what? You really, really don't have the right to complain if you don't do, if you have the ability to register to vote, or you are already registered and you don't vote, and you don't properly vet those who are seeking to um either Golteri seeking another term, or this gentleman who has some very good ideas on how to improve the system of criminal justice. So thanks. You can stay around and here with us, me and Linda. Linda, it's your turn now. We want to hear about all the great things that you are doing with your relief trip. Now you're leaving on Thursday. Tell the public about what you're doing and how they can help.
Thank you for the opportunity, Haiti. Okay, we want to let and inform the community that Inc. That's a group that is working all the time with all the causes that had to be in terms of relief and disaster. We are heading to Lake Charles, Louisiana. We are planning to do it this Thursday. We are gonna be going with United Cajun Navy, Bundo K9, the Florida Firefighter Volunteer Association, and us. We have a lot of volunteers effort right now. We did it recently training with CERT in order that we can assist the community. There's a lot of people contact us to Boricuas de Corazon in our Facebook page. The number 954-496-1463. Once again, 954 four
Okay, give
nine
me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. 954.
496 1463.
Okay, so I'm going to display that number for those of you that want to help. We're here. You might not be able to go out to Louisiana and drive out there and take the things that are needed at this juncture right now, what they need right now: cleaning products, medicines, and carpa,
Los carbs.
tarps.
Yeah,
They need
what
tarps.
we do it initially, Haiti, in every disaster have to be like a logistic. So we are right now in the phase 1 that we are cleaning all the whole area, moving the people that are right now being rescued to the place that they can be able to live in and being, in a decently way in shelters and in different others area. We needed tarps, we need over-the-counter medicine, we need cleaning product. That's what we are sending right now immediately in this first trip that we are going to be heading Thursday night with this other group in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Once we coming back, we are gonna be planning to do 3 trips. So this is the first one. We are going with tarps, over-the-counter medicine, and cleaning product. As I mentioned in the Spanish side, there's a lot of perishable food. There's a lot of babies stuff right now in the area. We have other companies that are doing that, clothes and all other stuff. So we don't want to concentrate it in giving them what they don't need. We are right now with other groups that are in the area in a coalition that we created a couple of, I could say, like a year already, and they are already telling us what are their needs. So right now, tarps, over-the-counter medicine, cleaning product. If you want to send it anything of that, or you're as a company, water filter is a plus. If you are a company that you want to taking care of, you can be able to donate into us. Please contact us, and we are gonna be make sure that we can deliver in that to the area that is in the disaster. As well, we want to use Haiti's program, Florida You Judge, in order that we can be able to transmit in what has been happening in Lake Charles once we get there.
Okay, so you need cleaning products, medicines, and tarps. Medicines like over the counter medicines.
Over the counter medicine, yeah. We have a group already. Interpol is sending on every other kind of medication that they can be able to do it without prescription. And the ones that are being prescribed, we have a couple of doctors right now in the area. We have like I could say like another 5 or 7 groups in the area for the medication that are being prescribed medicine for insulin and diabetes and all that kind of medication that we are not allowing to, supporting them with that.
Okay. And so again, your phone is 954-496-1463. You can be contacted directly at that number.
Correct.
And so you can help people to let them know what it is that you need. What time are you leaving on Thursday?
We are planning to leave in nighttime of Thursday. Is getting like 800 miles. We're planning to be there no later than Saturday at 12. So we are going to be doing the fast as possible that we can. We are going to be planning to be 3 and 4 days, and then we coming back. So this is something that we are planning, ahead, like almost like I could say like 10 days. We was not able to get it in the place right away because, as you know, most of the Louisiana area is already still in flooding zone. And we are right now with SIR doing rescue to the people that are not being allowing to get in through their path. So we are on that phase right now.
Okay, so if someone calls you, you're saying you're not taking money. You're just taking items.
Correct.
Right. So when they call you and they say, this is what I need, where do they drop it off?
They can contact us, and we are gonna giving them an address. I'm gonna be still in Tampa until Thursday, and we can go and pick it up as well. We are trying to make sure that the area in Brandon and Tampa that we can be able to collect. I have right now like almost 4 people already in the street collecting a lot of stuff that we can be able to deliver. I think so. It's gonna be like I could say like a trailer of 53 long food that we are gonna be doing in the phase 1. But I know that we have other companies that are going to be going with us, and they're providing trailers. If in our phase 2 and 3 we can be able to accommodate a little bit more, but initially we are right now doing what they are asking to us to do it, because we know that if another hurricane is coming, you know how the weather is changing, we need to coming back to our zone and still helping our people.
All right, Linda, thank you so much. And so you're going to be out there. Contact me so you can come back on and give the public a little of some insight as to what's going on over there while you're there on the ground.
No
Okay.
problem.
All
I
right.
will.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you, public. Please help share with friends, anyone that wants to help out with persons out in Louisiana right now that have been devastated. They're in incredible need of all these items. Please let's help one another. Haiti Oropesa for Florida You Judge. Until next time.